Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to kliqthistv.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Hey everybody, Sean Oliver's on a cruise. So Kevin Nash is here, and he's who you're here to see. I'm Steve Kaufmann, producer since day zero, and Dom D'Angelo is with us, also producer. We're going to be filling in. I've seen a lot of comments that say that Sean is like a Temu Iron Man or a Temu Tony Stark specifically. So does that make me a Temu Hulk or a Temu Bruce Banner? Let me know in the comments.
Beast.
Beast? A Temu Beast.
Temu Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer-ish.
I'm a bearded Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, but like from Cheers with a beard.
Right.
That works.
Not the Frasier.
Okay. Well, that is Dr. That Dr.
Early.
Frasier Crane was slinging it on Cheers.
Yeah, he was.
He was slaying it big time.
So we're here. Sean isn't. It's funny. We did an episode last week about Nirvana being overrated. And all anybody else was talking about outside of our sphere was that Roman Reigns is allegedly overrated. Kev, have you heard any of this?
No.
Oh, well then, no need to drag you into it.
No, I have decided. I like a couple of maybe 2 months ago. Actually, WrestleMania put a really sour kind of twist on things for me, and I have not. I've watched because you can watch. You can pick up the episodes now on Netflix and watch. So I've been watching Big Mama Cool. I've been watching my girl. I watched her segments. I haven't. I'm a friend of mine touched base with me today on my phone and texted me. I guess our lack of talking wrestling, I think, is starting to make people understand that we're just not watching the product.
Right. And which I would argue half of the quote unquote wrestling podcasts out there are also not watching or not actively watching the product. They're just lying.
Yeah.
Or they're watching just enough to be able to cover it. Whereas you're just being emotionally honest. Like, this doesn't interest me.
It's not that it doesn't interest me. It's just that it's like it's summer.
Yeah.
It's summer, man. Like I got an ocean in front of my house. I have these incredible, even though they might be 103 degrees, I have these incredible sunny days, and I have shit to do, and just it's so nice to go on the top of my house and watch people kind of frolic on the beach that are down here for vacation, and like to hear because I like the beach walk over the public beach is a couple 100 yards to my north, and people don't wander down like to where my house is, but sound travels so much on the water, and there's something that's just so just fucking pure to listen to children's laughter as they splash on the beach and fucking make sand. You know what I mean? It's just like, so to me to like, and then it became all of a sudden this whole podcast wrestling thing became such a negative world.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's like there's so much negativity on a daily basis just in our world alone. I mean, am I the only one that realizes that like every third day there's a fucking like a 7.5 earthquake and some mountain exploding and Cincinnati's got 13 fucking feet of water in the middle of the town and Illinois has 238 tornadoes that have landed already this year.
That's
I think
crazy.
the next closest state has like fucking 40. Like I look at these things, uh, the the my team down in Medellin, the bioaccelerators guys. I have a friend down there, Joey. That's kind of the American patient liaison slash get everything done guy, and he lives with Eric. That's at the owner of a bioaccelerator, and I mean they got fucking rocked in Medellin. You know, it's just that because Escobar built the infrastructure there that it withstood while the third world smaller cities around it got fucking pancaked. But they just got a really strong right wing anti narco government down there. And I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory in another continent, but I will. It seems to me like some things happened and all of a sudden fucking some crops went missing. So I don't know. You do connect the dots,
Right.
but I just look at that, and then on top of that, I read a couple of small columns here and there, and one of them was on the decline of like it covered Egypt and Rome, and it just different
Mhm.
like the it was just I would say maybe a couple of pages on each one, but then it went into Great Britain
Hmm.
and like all these civilizations that were the conquest and the controllers and the fucking the leaders of our world. The time runs out at about 250 years,
Right.
Yeah.
and I mean I'm not much on math, but I'm quite sure we just had our 250th birthday, and I've just started to see things like the strip malls, not like but just the strip malls that you kind of go to,
Hmm.
and they used to be full, and they had like an anchor, like a Publix or Winn-Dixie, or they had some kind of anchor store, and then they had, maybe 9 or 10 affiliate stores. And I see that the big box stores dropping out,
Yep.
and if it isn't a dollar or some shit type thing that goes in there, but then eventually they all go vacant. They're all for lease, and then you start to see the deterioration of the parking lots. And then you start to see the holes in the parking lots. Then you start to see like there's one business that's still alive and it's having to put plastic orange cones in the holes for the people that come at night so they don't bottom out their cars, picking up their pizza. And I travel all the time on airlines. And it was always when I went to the gate for a Delta flight, there was always two people working the gate. And now it's one.
Mhm.
And
And it's not like they updated the computer at an airport.
no.
Those computers are like MS-DOS still.
And red coats are, it's to me, a red coat is kind of like when you're in a major crime city. how long it takes the red coat to get to your gate is kind of like how long when you dial 911 it takes for a police officer to get to the crime. At one point Detroit it was over an hour.
And a red coat, is that the manager?
Right, it's the top it's the senior gate. Does it say gatekeeper?
The gatekeeper. Well, pretty much the gatekeeper,
Yeah.
because they probably oversee the terminal. There's probably one red coat per
Yes.
terminal when there should be three.
No, there's a lot of red coats. There used to be. I think maybe there was a Revolutionary War and we killed them all. I don't know, but I don't think the red coats are coming. We had an incident the other day. I won't go into it, but it took quite some time for it. It was great though that when the red coat guy did show up, I mean, they cast Danny Glover as the red coat.
Too old for this shit.
And he was so. I'll just kind of cover it real quick because it's kind of a funny story. So the agent, who was an attractive, probably 45, 48-year-old black woman. She was wearing the Delta gray. She was curvy, but I mean, she was a little thick, but she was attractive. She had a really short afro, but very, very blonde.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, she had wasn't like she got out of bed and didn't say boom.
Right.
Like she was, and
Put together.
Yeah. So she calls for the active. So first, the process for Delta is those people that are in wheelchairs or need a little extra time. So that's the first load, which at this point, I kind of look at some of the people that need a little extra time. I'm just thinking, no, man, you just want to make sure you get your bag in. You're my age, you're not limping, but you also don't have enough self-respect to fucking wait until it's your actual turn.
Right.
That's
Right.
bad karma. That's bad karma.
But at the same way that they could have an unseen thing that needs that, and to a certain level, humanity just has to trust that those people aren't lying.
And being from Detroit, I say fuck that.
All right.
I don't trust shit.
Fuck that.
I want to see a doctor's note. So then it's active military. Now they're asking the active military to show an ID. 8 people get in line. I'm looking at them. The 7th one is a guy with a man bun. He's got a goatee, and he's scrawny as fuck. So he's either the SEAL team fluffer, because
drone operator.
There ain't no way he's a SEAL team guy, And lo and behold, fucking, he bogs up the system. She spends 8 fucking minutes with this dude. In the meantime, we're already late, and I just thought maybe, sometimes I have kind of a deep, loud voice. Sometimes, the record's skipping. Maybe, if I make a little noise, we get shit back on track. So I say, think maybe you could do that and board zone 1? Just throwing it out there. I get the dirty look. That's all I need. Loving the hair anyway. So she waits. She gets on the phone. She waits for the red coat. The red coat comes. Meantime, this guy's, they're still dealing with him. Now I get the fucking stink eye fucking as I go by. But when I zip over it, she has to say, thank you for your status. You 3 million miler motherfucker. Fuck you.
But to begrudgingly tell somebody.
And I've sent all this shit on emails since this. It should be first class should board the plane first.
Yeah.
and get in their seats because they're paying fucking $2K plus to sit in that seat.
Right.
So first class first. Then people that need wheelchairs, people that need extra assistance. But let the people that are paying the bills sit the fuck down.
Right.
Right.
Then next should be diamond. That means you've spent fucking $40,000 on the airline.
Yeah.
Again, people that are fucking paying the bills.
Paying it up.
Don't just lump in fucking zone 1.
Right.
Fuck that. Like, there used to be fucking, like, you used to get treated a little bit better. Now it's like, just get on the fucking plane. But if they'll say shit like this, we're completely full. At this point, we're now going to accept any carry-on bags. We'll check them to your final destination, and you'll get pushed up into zone 4 for boarding. Wow. That fucking zone 4, I thought I was going to have to sit back here in fucking zone 8. This
All
fucking
for, mind you, for a seat you paid for.
Yes.
The seat is assigned.
Yes.
And they don't account for enough bag space
Why would they?
whatever. Yeah, because they want the ability for this to be a giant shit show.
Always.
Part of me wants to suggest to you to gather up enough diamond people who travel as much as you and form a civil protest and show up at group 9. Just be like, I'll make your problem I'll make my problem your problem.
But at that point, the fuckers that walk by that see the first class bins are open, throw their bags in it.
Right. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why
great.
first class has got to sit first.
Yeah.
Or they should close the first class bins. Because if I were first class,
That
I
would
would want to
take-
get on the plane last.
But that would take a human being to do that.
Fair.
Yeah. You only got the
You're,
one.
you're asking fucking the flight crew on this flight looked like Ryan Reynolds when he was 18, and the rest of the guys on the movie were their fucking waiters. And
Yeah, waiting.
They're putting
Oh, it's
boogers
waiting,
and
yeah.
shit. Yeah, that was the flight crew. And so finally we get everybody aboard, and there's some commotion going back, and I'm not going to turn around, but it's in no way like something that my spider sense is saying, wow, I need to turn around to make sure that I'm not going to be involved in this chaos. And so now they're the flight crew, who is now turned into the kids from Scooby-Doo, are peeking around the galley, Finally, the blonde-haired lady comes on. She peeks the other way. She's peeking now from where the door would be. I'm in 2C, so I've got this in front of me. I've already got it blocked, lit, and I'm shooting it in fucking for my fucking movie, because my life is always fucking. I'm thinking, what a great fucking scene in a movie this would be. And on walks Danny Glover.
What?
He's got his
Really?
he's got his back to the fucking cockpit. He looks down the aisleway, and from where his eyes are looking, I know that this situation is my side of the plane, but back a ways. And so he looks, and he turns and looks at the Scooby-Doo crowd and says, you have two options. He said, either remove the passenger or deal with the passenger for 3.5 hours. But somebody has to make that decision. 3 minutes goes by, nothing.
What?
And he made it clear.
He made it clear that somebody had to make this decision. These 4 fucknuts can't make a decision. And this one bitch, fucking her. I know that if I looked at her resume, the highlight of her life was her senior year. She was one of the fucking leads in Mean Girls. She was such a little,
Whew.
and so finally he just looks over at him. He blows out a, shuts his eyes, opens them, then turns his head left and he goes, "Remove the passenger," and exits out the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So, or as they would see, exits camera left. So here she comes, and I'm only going to get a glimpse of her because I'm in 2. So by the time she's there and they get her around the corner, I'm going to get just a glimpse of her. So I'm trying to fucking, and they've got these new seats on this Airbus. I think it's an Airbus 321. The seats are black and white, and they have these giant, like Darth Vader, it looks like Star Wars shields that you can't see. I guess so you can't fucking look at the person across the aisle from you.
Mm-hmm.
Stop conflict or something. But I see her because I'm so tall. It's not impeding my vision, and I get a look at her, and then I come to the realization of that Courtney Love had snuck onto the plane, and she was supposed to she had missed the bus from the last fucking night of the tour of Garbage. She's blonde with fucking roots. She's got her makeup's all fucking disheveled. She's barefoot with dirty shoes, and she's pulling a yellow blanket that's kind of tangling up in her legs. And she walks by me, and I'm thinking, like, okay, this to me doesn't look like alcoholism because she's not staggering.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like a drug overdose. It may be drug induced, but it looks more like somebody got a Dear John text, and she's flying to fucking Salt Lake to confront this guy like, I can't believe you dumped me. That's the feeling I got as she's taken off. And now, so they get her off the plane. I'm like, finally. And at this point, like, there's a real good chance I'm missing my connection. So I'm trying to fucking go through the computer to find what my connection is going to be to Fresno. There is no connection. I'm on the last flight to Fresno. If you don't get on the 9:20 flight from Salt Lake City, you stay.
Man.
So then they get her off, and there's a ding dong, and the person, Ryan Reynolds, goes and picks up the phone. He goes, "Oh, she's got a bag back there? They've already shut the door." And I'm like, if this motherfucker thinks that they're going to open this door and bring this fucking woman her bag, like, fuck that. It can go to Salt Lake City or wherever the fuck it's going.
Also, y'all had 3 minutes of straight up non-decision when it came to whether or not you keep this person on the plane. That could have been spent on planning on how do we get this person off the plane and what are all the proper details of getting this person off the plane.
And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, like, if this fucking bag thing becomes a situation, I think at that point they all knew that they fucking were fucked, and they just made a decision because we'd already they talked again on the phone for a couple of seconds, and then you felt that first like pull back, and we're now rolling back. And the pilot was kind of, I'd say 45 years old, not overweight, but fat, like just a gut. Like it looked like a serious alcoholic.
Okay.
You know, that kind of look, skinny arms with a big gut.
Hopefully not while they're flying the plane.
I'm thinking, I'm feeling Flight with Denzel Washington, where he's just the functional alcoholic.
Okay.
So if shit gets bad, he's going to turn this motherfucker upside down and land it. But
he's going to be the best drunk driver in the sky.
But he's going to fucking have to hide the vodkas.
Yep.
So but John Goodman's going to meet him at the fucking hospital. So shit's and
all
they might actually play our fucking theme song from Kliq This.
I think they absolutely might.
So, long story short, I don't make it to Salt Lake City.
Ugh.
I make it Salt Lake City. I don't make my connection. And the next time they've got a first class flight, because now we're going to Canadian Regional 70s, and I don't even fit in first class, and it's still from Salt Lake City to fucking Fresno. It's 140. It's a fucking haul.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking so, which is always so. I spend 21 hours. So I get off the plane in Salt Lake City, and the reason I brought up the alcoholic fucking fat ass pilot is he says, basically in kind of a fuck you tone, yeah. Usually I'd say something like, well, don't worry, we'll make up this time, but even though there's no weather here right now per se, as you look out your windows, atmospherically, there's a bunch of storms about 50 miles out that I'm going to have to work my way around. So there goes making up any time. And Nash, if you're on your fucking computer right now trying to figure out if you're going to make it to Fresno, motherfucker, not only are you not going to make it to Fresno, but there will be no fucking hotels that Delta will provide for you when you get to Salt Lake City. You'll be spending 21 hours on your dime. Go fuck yourself. So I'm like, okay.
The all-knowing alcoholic
Yes.
Yes.
pilot. Of
The
sleep.
Oracle alcoholic.
I can see about maybe 3.5 hours into the future.
Yeah.
And it's
Kevin?
not looking good for you, Mr. Nash.
I don't want to fucking point out anybody, but motherfucking hey, Sir in 2C, motherfucker, you are not going to make your flight.
Kevin should have stayed back with Danny Glover.
And I would vote for Tiberman again in Alabama.
I'm not going to name a seat. I'm just going to say the only 2-time Hall of Famer on this flight. That's
that
what
big
I'm talking
motherfucker.
Oh God! I got there. This poor woman, and most everybody that's in line at this help desk at A14 in Salt Lake City is everybody's Hispanic. I guess there's some kind of a ruling I'm not aware of. I'm white, so I wouldn't have got the memo. I don't think that black people are allowed in Salt Lake City. I was there for 21 hours. I think I saw two black people.
Oh man.
So
if I remember correctly, it's the Mormon Church started accepting black people in like the mid 70s. So maybe that's the trickle down that you're experiencing in Salt Lake City.
I just wasn't getting a real kind of fucking Detroit vibe while being in Salt Lake. And I'll tell you another thing. Flying in to Salt Lake actually would be flying out because I was going the other way on Sunday. Flying out of Salt Lake City, there ain't much. It kind of looks like Pebble Creek's water traps as far as how much water is actually in the Great Salt Lake. It kind of looks like sand traps of Pebble Beach with some water traps.
As a Californian, I should be worried because that's where my water comes from.
Dude, I just was just like, holy fuck. And I'm thinking about, and then I'm looking, and those mountains back in the day would have, it was 100 and something degrees in Salt Lake. There's no snowpack on those mountains.
Jeez.
I mean, I just keep hearing, I'm like, Sipes, easy on the fucking end of the world, okay? I got you.
No, I think Utah needs another data center.
God.
God, let's not even go into
Yeah,
that.
I don't want to.
I just watched a whole fucking hour with what's the cat from MS Now with the glasses. He follows Rachel on Mondays.
Let's see.
He's the fucking he's good. He's a smart fucker.
Trying to see.
He
Here.
did
Oh,
he did the
Is it
he did
Luke Russert? No, that's too early.
no.
No.
He's like
Is that Chris Hayes? I think.
eighth. What's
That
his
sounds.
name?
That's probably Chris Hayes.
Chris Hayes.
Yeah, Chris Hayes. Yeah,
Okay,
Chris
yeah.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Chris Hayes.
Guys, just please for a minute. I mean, I'm listening to this attempt at a show this week, and plenty to discuss off air, to say the least. But I would be remiss if I did not step in and tell you that STOPBOX USA has been the answer for the magic formula of safety and availability of your firearm. Okay, storing your firearm used to put you at risk, right? Storing a handgun safely shouldn't mean slowing yourself down if you need it. Most options are going to be like locked away or left out, and neither one has to be the case now with the STOPBOX Pro. No keys, no batteries. Imagine trying to work a keypad in the dark of night. God forbid you need to get in quickly, or the batteries are dead in the keypad, or you're fumbling for a key. This mechanical 5-button interface is designed for muscle memory. It's where you place your hand, where you place your fingers, and in seconds, a nanosecond, it's open. Okay, your firearm stays secure, always within reach. I've demonstrated this on air ad nauseum. I'm on the cruise now, so I couldn't possibly. But what remains are the great things that STOPBOX USA brings us. First of all, not only the safety and reliability, made in the USA, no tariffs, job opportunities, they're being made here, okay, and a range of other innovative products like the STOPBOX UCAN. Okay, same mechanical locking mechanism as the STOPBOX Pro, but much more storage capacity. It secures your firearm and ammo and all the rest of your equipment that does not need to be on your person. More capacity than bedside solutions, more control than range bags. Guys, for a limited time, our listeners are getting 10% off at STOPBOX when you use the code NASH at checkout. Okay, head to stopboxusa.com and use the code NASH for 10% off your entire order. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them, and please support our show. Tell them our show. For God's sakes, the co-host breaks in from the ship with Captain Stubing and Isaac the bartender to remind everyone that STOPBOX has been with us and continues to and makes the solution for firearm safety and availability. Guys, you can go back to the circle jerk that was happening prior to my breaking in. I hear a conga line somewhere, so I'm gonna go join that now.
Chris Hayes had on, maybe it was Sunday. He had on this AI conspiracy fucking guy, and he was basically saying that, I'll try to nutshell this, that the chips that they're using right now are not going to, like, the chips that we're using right now and the data centers we're building right now will all be obsolete in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it.
Which is why we shouldn't be.
Yeah, because the chips will be so advanced, or they'll be fucking made in China at 1/10 of what fucking Nvidia and everybody else will be selling their shit, which will fucking have this whole AI bubble just pop like the .com. If you look at the fucking charts, they match. Not going to go into it. Not invested in it. So, but he went into that whole fucking thing, and I was just like, oh fuck. So I get into Fresno. I got to do my deal, and I get to my hotel room that night, and I really haven't like watched the news.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what's going on there. My wife has texted me a couple of clips that she's seen on Instagram with, national or natural disasters that have happened. But there's like never any hard news. Like there's never a report from what's going on in Israel and Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
There's never a report of what's going on in the Straits. There's not anything about the Houthis. What's going on?
Because if you're lucky, you'll get airport CNN with captions in an airport.
I'm talking about I'm in my fucking hotel.
Oh, in a hotel room, yeah.
I'm in my hotel room, and I'm trying to find the news, and I can't fucking find any news. And what happens when you fucking don't use substance? When you're not stoned, you don't drink, and you're fucking, when you're like eyes wide fucking open, your brain starts to really, I don't say over-process, because I don't think you can really over-process any thought, but I think that you really start to become a deeper and deeper thinker. Mm-hmm. And then you realize the reason that there is no news is the same reason there is no news for the Iranians that live in Tehran, and there is no news for the Chinese that live in Beijing, because the news is being censored.
Right.
We don't get news anymore. It's not a free press. CBS is fucking a government-controlled company. Right. Everything is becoming government-controlled. So we're not getting the news. And look around you and fucking you find news. Like anybody out there that's listening, find fucking news, and tell me fucking you're gonna come at me with, well, I was watching Al Jazeera, and it's like, oh, so we're fucking a month ago when I brought up something on Al Jazeera, you kind of motherfucked me. And you're quoting something you read out of fucking Rolling Stone?
Right.
Like, where are you getting your, where are you getting your news? Because we're not getting news, guys.
And if people are getting it from Facebook, they shouldn't announce that.
Oh,
because that's a terrible place for news. I wouldn't say I get my news from TikTok, but I get stuff from TikTok that I then verify before I repeat it, which isn't the same. And I watch more BBC than a lot of Americans do.
Yeah, but it's very hard to get BBC and not BBC America.
Right.
BBC's kind of pretty good. Well, the BBC is well-knownly funded by the British government, so its prejudice will be in favor of the British government, but at least it's not paramount.
But it will,
News.
It'll also. Fox is. It's gotten to the point now where even people that have like a mirror in their house that work for Fox that have to like walk by that mirror at some point during the day and actually look into it and see the reflection and go, wow. Like,
what am I doing?
I'm really this much of a shill.
Yeah.
Like, this is I'm this fucking like, wow.
And that's a Fox News viewer. A Fox News viewer can be self-aware enough to get there. An OAN viewer is far gone. A Newsmax viewer, off the deep end.
I get all my
somebody who's
news
on like the fucking Breitbart or some shit that we don't even know about. Like those people are just absolute deep end.
Yeah.
And then you know that there's still like three guys sitting in a Pinto fucking with the heat on, passing a fucking joint, still fucking getting some kind of a fucking cryptic shit from an old BlackBerry on QAnon news.
I think he's come back and then left. I think that's what happened to Q.
I heard
came
that
back,
he
saw what
I heard
happened.
that he changed his name to something that sounded very Asian and took credit for Bitcoin. Just a rumor.
Oh no, I've
Just-
heard that one. That
Scuttlebutt
Q-
going around.
So what you're saying is
Mitsuwashi,
Satoshi.
Mitsubishi.
you're saying that Q is also Satoshi, and he's also DB Cooper. I think Q is everyone.
I can't prove it. like Bill Maher says, I can't prove it's true. I just know that it is.
Just know that that would actually be. It feels like a TV series, like a semi-comedic TV series. It'd be an hour long.
Oh, yeah.
It would be that if somehow every conspiracy theory that involves an unknown person was actually the same person. It's like to bring another Zemeckis reference into this episode. It's like a Forrest Gump, but
Right.
he dumbs himself into he's DB Cooper, he's Satoshi, he's Q,
Yes.
he's
Yes.
he's Deep Throat, he's the man on the he's all of these things.
And you sit there and you say that, and then you have to smack yourself really fast to go. Don't go down that rabbit hole because
Nope.
you know.
It's awful.
I still think that when we talked about that SpaceX 70-foot piece of rocket banging off the fucking moon, I mean, it got a little bit of coverage on Instagram. It got like a blip on the NBC, but like
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at the
Nothing.
level it should be, I'd say.
Well, because so now China's like revving up to go to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen on Instagram. I haven't been there because I'll tell you a funny. This is the honest to God truth, and it's one of those things that was like so fucking eye opening for me. I was in Hengdian, China, and Hengdian is where they've got a studio where they do filming. And the majority at this time, we're talking probably 2005, the majority of Chinese television is period piece soap operas. So it'd be like this dynasty, this dynasty, this dynasty. So in Hengdian is also like the studios where they shoot everything. Everything that they build is fucking 3D. So if it's fucking this 9th fucking century fucking so-and-so dynasty, it's aerial. You can see it. Then you go up on this fucking hill and you can see where the emperor, the little fucking kid that's in the emperor.
Yeah.
There's a scale down, but pretty damn close to that fucking thing built 3D.
That's crazy.
Everything is built 3D.
Because they know they'll make enough money to shoot the series that they just spend a bunch of money to let's build the village.
It doesn't matter because you don't get a vote.
That
Right,
too.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well,
Never mind. I'm capitalist, Steve.
Yeah,
I forgot China.
No, you're in China, dude. Like, just be glad you're not watching a black fucking screen. Shut the fuck up. So it's time for me to leave. I've got 2 days off, and I'm flying out of Shanghai. Originally, when this trip went down, my wife and my son, who had gotten vaccinated along with me, were going to meet me in Beijing, and we were going to do the Great Wall.
Yeah.
At this point, I've had fucking infectious diarrhea so many fucking times. I just want to survive this fucking movie.
Right. Yeah.
And there was an episode early, about a week into it, and there was this. We were staying at this Taiwanese billionaire's place outside of Guilin, and it's this giant. I don't know how many acres he has, but it's all sculptures, giant sculptures, like a 80-foot fucking chair, and it was crazy. And Guilin also has these old volcanoes, so they look like, it looks like fucking something from a Tolkien novel, or it's like almost Van Goghish.
Right.
But if you ever just look up the like Guilin, and then look up the volcanoes that are around it, and I'll keep this going. So I, yeah, this shit's all the way around it.
It definitely looks. Hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're kind of in the bottom of this, like with this thing around you, and so I watched this woman come out of this cinder block house. She's got this big pot, and she's got a ladle, and she walks out, and she kind of fixes her dress, and then she walks into and it's a just huge garden, and she's got this ladle, and she's slinging what looks like chili out onto the fucking lettuce, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's feces.
Oh my god.
Like, they use human feces as fertilizer.
Oh.
And they've been doing it for so long that they're basically immune to salmonella.
Or psychospora, which is what we're all dealing with now.
Exactly. And I mean, so I'm like, wow. And then it was like everybody got sick. And then all of a sudden it was just like, I talked to most of the cast and the American crew, and was like, we need to be eating white rice and fucking grilled or boiled chicken.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to boiled chicken, and I was eating egg whites.
Yeah.
So I would eat egg whites and white rice in the morning, egg whites, white rice in the afternoon, and I was having these giant jugs of, back then when muscle milk came in those, like in powder form. I don't know if it still does.
Oh.
But the only carrier that carried into China at that time was DHL. And when you would
Okay.
get it, that you could see that it was torn open, and they'd taken a fucking, because they did it at the airport. They did that. It looks like a fucking old antenna from like a '57 car that retracts. They would just pull it and jam it through to check to make sure there wasn't any contraband in your protein. And so I'm driving at night, and there's no rhyme or reason to the roads. Some are paved, some aren't, some are dirt. There'll be a fucking a tractor that's running on like tank treads, that's run by coal, and
Oh.
it's pulling a wagon that's got like 80 feet tall of compressed cardboard behind it. And I'm just taking this in, taking this in, taking this in. And then as we drive, and I'm in a Buick Park Avenue, which is like ballin'.
Yeah.
I mean, Buick at that time in fucking China was like the shit.
I
I think
didn't even know they
China.
had them there.
Yes. I think China was keeping Buick alive.
Yeah, I had no idea they were there even.
Yeah, no, Buick was that was the fucking. And I think if you look back, like early fucking Kim, when he was in North Korea, he was like being sported around in like Buicks and shit. And so as we get closer, all of a sudden I see this glow, and I'm like, wow, what the fuck is that, man? Like, we get closer. All of a sudden we go from like a 2-lane country road in Indiana to a 7-lane fucking super highway, completely lit on both sides on our way into fucking Shanghai. And I'm like, what the fuck? I said, oh, so this is the fucking zone where the John Deere guys don't get to go beyond.
Right.
Like they don't get anybody that does fucking business in Shanghai gets to see that, like Shanghai from here forward.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but not behind where I just came, you know. And so we get into Shanghai, and I'm staying at the Hyatt. And at that time, I don't know if it's still the case, but the Hyatt was the tallest hotel in the world because it was in this huge office complex, office building. And I want to think that the lobby was on the 50th or 48th floor, and then
Wow.
the hotel was above that. And I had the most fucking bawling James Bond fucking corner suite with the curtains fucking with windows were ceiling to floor, curtains purple, dark out, and fucking and I haven't had a decent bottle of wine since Hong Kong. So it's been fucking like 6 weeks. Because like you ask for wine and there'll be a lizard in the wine. It's like, what the fuck?
Jeez.
So all I was drinking was those Teng Chow fucking beers and Johnny Walker fucking Blue Label.
Damn.
They had that everywhere. And I was fucking pounding that Blue Label. And Jameson's.
I love Jameson.
So so I get there and I open the corner and I'm looking out. Is that the hotel?
That's the interior.
Yeah.
Like that's looking down at the lobby, and then this is the exterior.
Yeah.
That is some
Pretty
James
fucking
Bond.
bad.
So
Pretty fucking bad.
you're way up there in this building,
Yeah.
just to set a scene for everybody.
Yeah. So and I'm about as high as you can go because when I'm looking out, I'm kind of looking out right at the Sphere, and there's like a river there and shit, and it's very James Bond, and I'm like, wow, man. So I get a filet medium. I get 2 fillets medium rare because I'm gonna eat one later. I get 3 bottles of this Pinot that I'm not a Pinot guy, but like of all the wines on this list, it's like this is the most high dollar, best wine. You know, that's from California because I'm drinking a California wine, and I was just like, man, it was just, and I had that next day I took off, so before I flew the following day because I wanted to explore Shanghai by myself. And I wake up the next morning and I open the shades and I can't see 6 inches outside of my room.
Smog.
Because the pollution is so bad. So I go all the way down to the lobby and it's still. She says, no, you're going to have to. So I have to go down to the first floor. Basically, I have to go out to street level and there's the Sphere I was looking at right there. Wow. Street level is like Blade Runner 1. Kind of that kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
And I know that fucking like each hour I'm out there's like 20 packs of cigarettes. So I do a little sightseeing and I get back to there and it's just like, and then I just fucking, because I had CNN and a couple other things, I watched like American television, drank American wine, and did not sleep because if I slept, there was a chance I could miss my flight. And my flight was like at 7. I left at like 3:30 to get to the airport. You know, I think I might have actually limped and got on with the fucking need a little time. People
You just need more time.
I need emotionally. mentally, I needed more time to get on. But
We had the Chinese Danny Glover there.
what a what a fucking experience that was.
Oh my gosh.
105 days in China.
When was this, Kev? How long ago was that?
2005. We shot that movie DOA.
Okay.
I was there with Eric Roberts.
Yeah, yeah.
I was there with Steve Howie from oh fuck. He was on Reba, but he was on that fucking show with oh god, he played Kevin. He was on
He's on Shameless. He's on High
Yes.
Potential now.
yeah, Shameless.
Oh, Shameless. Yeah.
Good fucking dude, man. Like good dude. I think he got a little bit hot at me because he like we everybody would share DVDs, and he we were sharing DVDs, and he gave me a Seventh Day. No, what is Cruise?
Scientologist.
Yeah, he gave me a Scientology
Oh shit.
Scientology DVD, and I wasn't really like I wasn't politically correct, not because I just wasn't aware. It wasn't a part of my life,
Right.
Yeah.
you know. So I wasn't. And he said, "Did you get a chance to watch that?" He had like this like it's unbelievable. Like the first film he gave me was Rear Window, and I'm like
the Jimmy
Yeah.
Stewart?
no, no, yeah, with fucking the Hitchcock,
Hitchcock,
with
yeah, yeah.
with Burr as the killer.
Yeah.
So the first thing he gives me is fuck. I'm watching Rear Window, and I'm in Guilin, China, and I'm just like, I can do this.
Right.
I can do this. And it's like anything else. There was a good enough weight system to get like everything done, but it was a lot. Like I was healthy, so I could still do compound movements. So I was doing like a lot of bent rows, a lot of fucking cleans, straight bar curls. But I was keeping my size on, and I was eating clean as fuck, and so I wouldn't die.
Fucking.
And I think he just, like kind of a buddy system thing, he kind of just wanted to expose me to it. And like an asshole, I said, no, I didn't watch that crazy fucking shit. And, in retrospect, and like I kind of tried to stay in touch with him, but it was kind of like, always kind of a hand away type thing. Didn't understand why until I actually ran into another guy that was in the religion and had gotten out, and he was just like, wow, like yeah, like that was like he like really like gave you the olive branch.
And also in that religion, they're big on cutting out what they call suppressive people. And any person who would dismiss Scientology on the jump would be considered in their mind a suppressive person.
Absolutely.
Where they
and
very similar to like people who claim like, oh, I don't spend time with negative people. And then
like
they never define it.
The first day in Hong Kong, like here's this big giant fucking wrestling dude. And he's like, what do you want to do? I said, let's go to the art museum. He looked at me and said, really? And we went to the art museum, the Hong Kong Art Museum. And so we really got along great. We got suits made at the Hong Kong tailor and jackets, and we really got along. He was a great guy, and I fucked up. I wish I could. It's one of those like in life where you wish you could have had a mulligan, but then I don't know. Maybe if I would have just have not been willing to go, maybe he doesn't associate with those that aren't
right. Well, I think
a part of the religion.
Guys, please, once again, Blue Chew is on my mind. I'm on the ship. I'm walking past a lot of doors that have upside down pineapples on them. And if you know anything about cruising, you know what that means. So I suspect Blue Chew is present up in this piece. Guys, action's back on the table, whether we're talking about your bedroom or the cruise line, the control deck upstairs. Who knows what Captain Stubing's got going on with the pants pulled up to his nipples and the fupa hanging out. Gotta love Gavin McLeod. Listen, guys, Blue Chew Gold is the new arousal boosting formula that I want you to take from this. If you take nothing else from our chicanery here, please allow it to be that the number one better sex brand, Blue Chew, has been making bedrooms noisy for a long time, but it's gotten even better, okay? Blue Chew Gold, better sex in a tablet, 4 combined ingredients into one powerful solution. 2 ingredients get you hard physically, and 2 support arousal and desire in the brain. It works fast and lasts. My God, the cabin above me. I mean, they're gonna come through. So listen, there's a reason Blue Chew is the number one brand in the world for better sex. Experience it yourself at BlueChew.com. And we've got our special deal, as always, for our listeners. Right? Yes, you don't need to take another one. Blue Chew Gold lasts a long time, and it's fast acting. Listen, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you're going to get the third for free with the promo code Nash. That's promo code Nash. You'll receive an additional 10% off, and you know what, for the hell of it, free overnight shipping on your first order. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the pod, the bedroom, and Royal Caribbean today.
But you know, people said so much, you know, negative shit about Tom Cruise, and then I met him and had several conversations with him, and Tom was I always found him very warm. He didn't push anything on me. He wasn't standoffish. We talked sports. I was really interested in some of his choices, and you know, as far as the movies he chose and why this was years ago when we did Rock of Ages together, that why he's still, I mean, and there's a scene in that movie where he's singing Cowboy Dead or Alive, that Bon Jovi, and he's on this stage, but it's not a stage, it's actually like where if you sat in a tall bar stool and you were looking out on the floor, it would be, you know, probably 4.5 feet to the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this thing where he like he says, all you do is think, and there's a girl playing with a crossword puzzle, and he points down and he goes, Dalai Lama, and he jumps.
Yeah.
And he did that scene like 15 times in cowboy boots.
Holy shit.
I mean, just like a machine, you know?
He is like an anomaly of an actor. It's just like,
yeah,
there's
he's such, I mean, to me, like, by far the biggest movie star I've ever, like actors are different.
oh yeah.
Like in that same movie, man, like I got to be pretty good friends. It's really, I was on the way here, I was thinking about degrees of friendship in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and how like I've had so I have my high school friends, and I have 1 or 2 of them that I stay in contact with, but there just isn't time. You know, when I go up to, like, my best friend in the world is in high school is Jerry Bene, and before that was Bruce Aoki, but I jumped high school, but Bruce was he was my childhood best friend, and I know he lives someplace in suburban Chicago, and it was kind of cool because like he spent so much time with us that him and my brother became really good friends. And then my brother and him, like, I don't know if Mark is still in touch with Bruce or not, but I know for a while that Bruce lived in Hoffman Estates outside of Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was Jerry Bainey was like my best friend in high school. And then college was probably, if I had to pick one guy, it would have been Howard Wood. But I was really close with like Chuck Threets. I was really close with Steve Ray. I was really close with Rip Johnson. Like those were like, that was kind of, Mike Stapleton was a good friend of mine. And then I went to the military, and I made a couple of friends in the military. But those really, Whitty, the guy in basic training that didn't make it, would have been the guy. Except I tried to get in contact with him, and he had died. I talked to his mom, and he had a brain aneurysm.
Oh man.
He died. So then from there, it became my strip club days, which was a guy named Jeff Jones was my best friend. And then from there, it went into the business. And it was like Raven,
Mm-hmm.
DDP, Scott, like early guys. And
Was
then
Austin there yet? Did Austin become your friend at that point?
Then Austin, then Austin was that next tier because he came the next year,
Mm-hmm.
and he and I like traveled. Like I traveled with Steve almost exclusively out of Atlanta, and then Scott left, went to New York, and it became me and Sean and Scott, and we traveled everywhere for like probably almost 6-7 months until X-Pac fucked with the Smoking Guns. He jumped in with us, and then we went until Hunter joined, and so that was the Kliq. But I was also always really really close with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Jeff was like I always really. Jeff was one of my. Jeff is to this day. Jeff's always been one of my boys, and like there's office guys like Jeremy Borash and Ross Foreman, and I became friends, very close friends with Eric Bischoff, and became friends with Hulk at different levels, and now then you go to the guys that you have that become friends on movie sets,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like from Longest Yard it was Conrad Good, and then from Magic Mike it was Adam Rodriguez. Somehow I was just because I was thinking I was driving down here today, I was just thinking a song came on. It was U2, and it's Conrad's favorite band is U2, and I was just like I thought of him. I'm like, motherfucker, man, like why haven't you stayed in contact with him? And I just saw Adam, like my phone rang while I was doing this, and Adam was calling me, and Adam and I have really, and Adam's shooting right now. He's on Criminal Minds, so it's real hard. He's got three kids in school. His young Bridges is fuck. I think Bridges is 6'7" now, and like that's like they're like that's like my family, and even though I like Chan and Reed, that Reed wrote both the Magic Mikes. He wrote Dog, and was involved. He was actually acted in the first Magic Mike. He was Tall Paul, and then but those guys are like on another level. And Joe Magliano, Joe's another one of my buddies that we all touch base on text today. And then I've got a few, I've got Chris McDermott, I got Louis Segura, and that's about it in my life, as far as, like people that have stayed in my life throughout, and it's so weird because, and I don't know how I had, like, my drive down here is like 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and I pieced what
Right.
I just said. I pieced
Oh,
that
100%.
together in 3 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, either I'm going to go in fucking insane at any moment, or I'm going to invent something.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna reach
Because
like a moment of clarity or
Well,
like a sense of nirvana.
and it just, and it's almost like my aging process is regressing. Like, I was like, I wanted so badly at fucking 2:00 in the morning, 2:20 in the morning, when we landed in Orlando, to get off that fucking tram from the terminal, because I had my bag in my hand. All I had to do is get through fucking baggage claim and stand underneath one of the terminal numbers so I could press Uber, and they would know that I was at 28.
Right.
Yeah.
And we could start that process of that 4 to 6 minutes to get me a fucking Uber Black, because I was Big Daddy pimping Escalade home after that motherfucking abortion. And fuck that. And I got picked up by the coolest Cuban dude. And we pull up, and he goes, I said, no, I said, do you mind if I sit up front? And he said, if you want to sit up front, sit up front. I said, honestly, I said, man, the back doesn't recline right. It just, that seat reclines, but the middle doesn't.
Right.
So you have this kind of recline thing going, and I'm needing, like, to drop lower. Like, I'm needing to be as close to my fucking stressless chair that I'm about to dump into when I get home, and take a fucking Xanax and drink a fucking Michelob Zero and it's so funny because through all this, I always tell myself, I've been saying this my whole life in my brain, like, when you get these snags, and it's like, fuck. And my reboot is to mentally say to myself, here we go. Like, that's my mental reboot. Here we go. And now we're gonna take this situation, we're gonna take this problem, we're gonna dissect it, we're gonna solve it, and we're gonna move forward. Because everybody else is gonna sit over here and curl up in a ball and fuck around for fucking 3 minutes. And that's why we're going to get that last first class seat.
Right.
You're right.
Because we're not going to do that.
That's
and we're
not-
going to get the last cab. We're going to,
Yeah.
like,
Well, because
when
people forget about fight or flight, or people always remember fight or flight, but they forget about freeze or fawn.
yeah.
And so many people will freeze or fawn. And
Well spoken.
the key is to pick one of the four, understanding that most people only think there's two
That's a
when
great
you're
point,
competing
too.
with others.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, I mean, if you leave your house in today's world and don't fucking when you're tightening your fucking tennis shoes or whatever you're going to do, and you don't say to yourself, survival of the fittest, man, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Fucking A.
Right.
I mean, if that plane goes down in the Andes, I've watched enough shit. I know that fucking flank around the side of the ribs is pretty tasty. I'll have a fucking fire going. I'm not going to go into starvation mode.
Right.
I'm going to fucking hold as much lean muscle as I can. I'm going to be cannibalistic right off the bat. Like, fuck it, man.
Be selfless after you're selfish.
Exactly.
You're not going to eat the fat pilot. You're not going to eat the fat pilot.
Yeah. Hey, dude, we just crashed in Evansville. My bad. How was I supposed to know? Like, help's on the way. You can't hear it? No, I'm sorry. I'm too busy starting a fire. You mean that dude isn't dead? Well, he is now. Shit.
So, Kev, I'd be bad in my position as replacing Sean for a week if I didn't ask, were you at any point inside a catering cart on that plane?
Now, Billie Eilish was actually in a cart that would be like an equipment cart, and they took her from backstage underneath her stage setup. I sat there and I watched. You know, I love to watch him speak. I love to watch Donald Trump speak because it's just like, it's taken me a while, because there used to be like a part of me that'd be like, oh, get the fuck out of here. But I've spent so much time with this cat. It's like, dude, like, you ain't buying your own shit.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, like you,
Not at
like
this
you,
point.
yeah, like he's such a fucking, like, just habitual.
He is.
And people say when he opens his mouth he lies. It's like he's just habitual. It's just habitual to everything. It's just, who in their right mind? So that would be the equivalent of saying, why is it every time that he gets in the Beast, okay, which is the giant armored Cadillac, why isn't he in a fucking Prius laying in the floorboard fucking 2 miles back? Right?
Apparently,
Yeah,
he should. Apparently, there's enough threat that he should be.
I worked for some pretty top end security groups in my life, and I remember when we had that. We were it was the Who's one of the Who's 35 last tours, and they were at the Silver Dome, and they had this whole rider thing, and back then there were certain bands that would want to leave in like the fucking, 105-inch stretched fucking limo that people, one of them would open the fucking sunroof and, little brothers, as they left out to the fucking fans. And then there was other ones like The Who, and this company that I worked with had like these work vans that looked like they were fucking like beaters.
Right.
But the interior of them was fucking just, I mean, way nicer than any fucking decked out fucking like a Sprinter that you'd get in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For that time period,
Yeah.
because
because you want to keep it luxury for the client, but you also want it to look, the exterior
And
to
you
look like
would-
an absolute
and-
fucking beater, so nobody
and
knows
you
the
would-
client's in there.
And you would leave through the fucking service area. And I always thought that was so brilliant.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because the last thing you want to do, like, I don't want to be in a fucking, like, number one, back then, fucking, like, Scarface, they almost got Scarface with the double Mac 10s.
Right.
When they sprayed him, when the clown was dancing around in the club. But I bet you it's the fucking Diaz brothers. Fucking space for space, Tony. But I just thought that was brilliant, and I'm just thinking that when this shit just went down, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, so you take. It's not like you've got 4 seats on this plane.
No, it's a whole plane.
Yeah, like you can't take your whole fucking cabinet.
Right.
Like, you leave Rubio, you leave fucking, like, but
Little Marco?
you take Pete. And then I'm thinking about, I'm like, Okay, so what would make Trump come to that conclusion? He's like, okay, from a standpoint of news to break in Tehran, is it more important to have killed our leader slash the Ayatollah payback, and then our military leader slash what we did to them? Because Pete's our,
Right.
I mean, whether you like it or not, he runs the Department of Defense. He's a Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
So, he's our queen on the
Well,
chessboard.
yeah,
The
that's
chessboard, yeah.
I mentally, but still fucking,
A bit touched.
gonna
I mean,
mark the time code. It's the second word. I'm just gonna have to see how YouTube feels.
what, the R word?
They're
think
not
that-
fans of the R word. You said the C word earlier. I'm marking it to see
Just
what I
fucking-
can do later.
Just beep it.
I know.
Don't
Yeah.
even fuck it. Just beep it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
If you want to hear those words, you got to pay.
Yeah, no, just beep it. Fuck it.
ClickThisTV.com, everybody.
Yeah, but
Carolyn Levitt left, and people are speculating it was over this because he left her behind. So she's resigning at the end of this month.
What a shit show.
This is nothing new. We're on year.
Yeah.
What are we on year 6? Broken up.
when Carville called it fucking 4 months ago and said that he would exit by April, and everybody, and it's like that's now the fucking over. I mean, I don't think he'll make it to April.
Right.
I think after this blue wave in the middle, I got a question for you guys, and this is for the people out there too, that are listening, especially because I can get direct feedback from the crew here on 11 Soft. So, is the Socialistic Democratic Party, is it the equivalent of the Tea Party? Is it the equivalent if the Tea Party was called the Socialistic Tea Party to make it seem not part of the Republican Party? Like, is it because
I think it's just it's a group of people who have no choice but to be Democrats electorally, but have an ideological difference within the party.
I think it's all...
And the difference is they're not trying to burn the Democratic Party to the ground, whereas the Tea Party, if they had their way and if they weren't courted
Right.
by MAGA, they would have burned they would have burned the Republican Party to the ground,
right
and taken it
but
over.
and my whole thing is, I know that I have to watch this play out. It's one thing for primaries. It's one thing to have primaries and everything else. And it's a completely different when we go, when especially for the President of the United States. But is it too simplistic for me to say, I don't care how you fucking take the word socialist, and I don't care how you spin it, twist it, make it Main Street versus Wall Street, it's still a socialist, and I'm a fucking capitalist. And there's no two ways about that. Like, I'm a fucking capitalist. That's my DNA.
But most viable candidates out of the DSA don't want to completely upend every fundamental of capitalism.
But I don't think they fucking. I don't think
they need better messaging.
They need them. They absolutely. Their messaging is, I get it. One of the greatest things my son told me are analogies that he brought to my to my brain was we were driving one day in the car and we were listening to Ozzy, and he was Crazy Train. And he said, Dad, he says, imagine how fucked up it is on that train right now when Ozzy Osbourne pulls his head up from an 8-ball and goes, hey guys, we're going off the rails on this crazy train. Like, that's how fucked up that train is.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, and he said that, and I was just like, so that is stuck in my fucking mind forever. And right now, that's kind of what they're doing to me on this. Is just like, do we need to really, like, are things so fucked up that we've got to make this fucking Democratic thing the crazy train?
No, but once again, like every DSA candidate and everyone within the DSA needs to make it clear what they do and don't stand for, and the Democrat establishment needs to don't attack them just because their socialist is in their name. Because if you're against socialism, you're against Social Security. Like, if most people are arguing for some form of capitalist socialist economy, which is what we've had, what the New Deal was, what a lot of things were.
Right.
I think I had a professor once explain our system the way it should run versus how it typically does run. As, imagine you're playing Monopoly, and everybody else on the board starts the game with a massive advantage to you. And if you lose, you starve to death. And if they lose, they get bailed out by the bank. That's the system we have now.
Right.
So if you're a socialist politically in today's climate, like if you're left of center or just straight up leftist in today's climate, all you're actually arguing for is, hey, I want to play Monopoly too, but I don't want to eat shit and die when I lose.
So,
and I still want to play Monopoly.
Yes, but so one of the things, and like I say, I'm in no way am I anti-Semitic, and in no way am I a Zionist. But I do know that we pay, I'm just going to say $100 billion to Israel.
Right.
Feels a little low. I'll find it.
Yeah, that's
I think it's 168. But I'm going to say 150. So we give this to Israel. They have a longer lifespan than we do. They have free medical.
Free healthcare, yep.
They have free healthcare. They have free college. Like, their standard of living is better than ours, and we ensure that. Yet we get fucking nothing in return from them. So please, so if that's what the DSA, if that's what
they want as strong a social safety net as Israel has for what we pay for Israel to have.
And I think that there's a way to message that.
I think so too. I think there are two issues. One, it's a big the Democratic Party's always been a bit of a big tent organism, which means when you have room for everybody, it's hard to universalize your message. I'm aware universalize isn't a word, but it works. Yeah, it works in this context. But I think the issue we run into is there are too many people that are too skittish to say anything like what you just said for fear of being considered anti-Semitic. Which can't be anti-Semitic for thinking a country might get a lot of money from us. That's just empirical data.
Well, it's not even thinking.
Yeah, no. We can debate the number, but it's since 2023, the best I can tell, and this is Brown University's Cost of War project, U.S. has allocated at least $21.7 billion in direct military aid to Israel since October of 2023. That's empirical data. We could argue whether or not we should or shouldn't be giving them that money, but you can't argue we aren't giving them the money.
Right. And see, one of my things would be if we're giving them missiles that's allowing them to have the Iron Dome that allows them to survive in a system that basically wants them dead from fucking, from the border to the sea. There's a very high concentration of foe that wants them eliminated. I should say exterminated. So, and I have, I'm going to sound like the guy that I have a black friend, but I've spent a lot of my life around people of the Jewish faith. Not so much Israel, people that are from Israel, but people that have that are of the Jewish faith.
But if the opposition's going to align the same, then you get to in this comparison. What the Jewish community thinks and feels right now,
right,
isn't the same as what the Israeli community may think and feel right now.
It's Matty. What's his name? He was fucking Saul on fucking Homeland.
I'll find it quick.
And he goes on that fucking rant.
Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, he goes. Have you seen that rant he goes on?
No.
No. Oh my god! They fucking just when you get a chance, fucking YouTube his rant. I have it saved. It's fucking. And this is a Jewish man of Jewish faith, and like basically fucking turning into Rollins. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like we can't, like this. This can't be. But we need to find that. Maybe we can somehow put that in a link for next week or something.
We could find it.
Yeah. I've got it somewhere on my phone because I occasionally play it for people.
I gotta go, but I think with the Democrat stuff, like I think the DSA is like, I almost feel like maybe there's some good, genuine people that want to do stuff for that, but at the same time too, I almost think it's like a red herring for like, giving this side a little bit of hope, but there's nothing you're gonna escape out of the party with it too. At the same time.
Well, what you're also you're going to get. You're going to get that. But you've got a lot of Muslims. That are. Well, it's like the whole thing in Michigan, and it was funny because they were saying on one of the news cycles how Muslim Michigan was, yet. So I think they were wrong, and that there's a lot of Arabs in Michigan, but there's an unbelievable amount of Iraqis that are Christian that fucking exiled Iran for the persecution.
Yeah.
So it's just like you need to know. Because you're talking about my state and you're talking about my home, like my teammates, my company, Hyman, they're all Arab, they're all they're all Christians.
Oh yeah.
And they're the most loving. And if you've been to Detroit, that's 95% of the people you come across. And when you have contact with them and you text, and it's always God bless your family, and and I'm like, wow, they're so off. Because this one guy has a little bit of a radical feel to him. It's like you're so off on fucking generalizing the population fucking Detroit, Dearborn Heights, and it's like you need to like maybe do a little homework, but
Some people need to get outside and just
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
meet people, socialize, broaden your
yeah,
horizon.
right.
That's fucking bullshit.
Touch grass, lift
All right,
weights.
guys.
See you,
All right,
Dom.
man. Peace.
Of
Tell
course.
tell
See you
tell
guys.
RVD we send our love. Good to see you, man. Thanks for helping out tonight. Well, partner, looks like me and you now.
Here we go. I'll bring it up now, and if in the edit I can find it, I'll pull it up. But I've been seeing this meme the last couple weeks, which is it's a picture of a T-Rex from Jurassic Park, and then right below it, it's a picture of Barney the dinosaur, and then it says that establishment Democrats, when somebody super progressive or socialist is trying to run, and then Barney the dinosaur, when MAGA Republicans try to like take away our fundamental rights.
Right.
But that's as this is happening, I always try to like fundamentally understand that what Democrats aren't as good at as Republicans are is we're not as good at banding around our person once it's our person.
Right.
Because we would, if we were capable of that, we would have had Kamala Harris as a president. Because she had 106 days. We didn't have enough time.
No.
And
no.
we're just like there were too many people who didn't think she was progressive enough or thought she should have won a primary.
I think her biggest fuck up was when, and I don't know if it was 60 Minutes or what it was, she had to sit down early, and the question came across, you've been the vice president, what would you do differently than Joe Biden has done to this point? And she said nothing. And she was dead then. Because basically, the border was a fucking disaster. Like, there was, and when she said that, I told my wife, I said, we're fucked. Because she had a chance to stand alone and become actually the candidate.
Right.
It didn't matter how much time she had, and she didn't, because it was too soon to fucking throw dirt on Joe.
Which is all she's doing now. Like, or not all she's doing, but which is what she's more comfortable to do now.
Of course, because it's already played out. But the thing was, anybody that watched that first debate, I mean, I'm fucking appalled that it took an op-ed from George Clooney to fucking even get that debt cord fucking lit.
Right. I remember we usually recorded this show on a Wednesday, and we pushed it to a Thursday so we could do this show after that debate.
Right.
And I remember before we went live, you and I, the whole group was talking about how like, this is bad. This is like irrevocably, like how, and like we can rationalize it as like, oh, well, debating isn't presidenting. But debating is campaigning to president, and you don't get to president again if you can't debate. And he couldn't debate.
It was like, I don't know exactly what the Secret Service guys felt like that were in Daily Plaza that day when they got to Parkland, but I have a pretty good feeling it was kind of like we did before that show.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, he didn't make it.
And like there was, and like there had felt like there was such a blue wave for all three of those post-Trump years up until that moment.
But he went out there in the State of the Union and just kind of fucking. I'm saying to myself as I'm watching, like, and he's fucking interacting across the aisle with the guy that he wrote the bill with, and I'm like, fuck, this couldn't go any better.
Right.
10 days later, they fucking kill him, go to Walt Disney World, pull out the animatronic fucking House of Presidents Biden and throw him up, and it was over when and this is, people can say whatever the fuck they want to, and Chappelle nails it on the head when the first time fucking Hillary said, and you do this and you do that, and he looked at her and he says, "You goddamn right I do that, because I know how to beat the fucking system."
Right.
and anybody that was fucking had a brain went, "My motherfucker, you can't say that. He just did." And then fucking Biden bobble, and he says, and fucking Trump looked over and he says, basically, I don't know what the fuck this guy is even talking about. But I'll go ahead and make my point because I'm the only one making them tonight. And you're just like, we're done.
Yeah. And like Kamala wiped the floor with him in the second debate. Not that that mattered.
Didn't matter.
Because that was. But
Can we jump? Can we jump back real quick?
Please.
Because there's one thing I want. So, what was the fucking city where he got his ear shot off? That grew back.
Pennsylvania. I'll find it.
Lancaster, was it, or
Trump ear city? If we Google that, Butler.
So, and didn't he like? What did he chant? Fight.
I think he screamed fight. At least
with his fist raised.
Yes.
Fight. And everybody's saying, "Oh no, that was real. That wasn't fucking staged." So he's got a sniper that he doesn't know whether it's been fucking neutralized or not, whether it's a single shooter or not. And he fucking stands up and says, "Fight." And then he gets in a fucking catering fucking
right,
and goes like, "What happened? Did they snip your fucking balls during this fucking run, or
similar to anyone, to bring it slightly back to wrestling, similar to people who claim that the Montreal Screwjob was fixed, was made up, was a fix. The best argument for those people is it sure did do great for the pro wrestling business after that happened.
Yes.
Similarly, I'm not pretending to know what happened that day in Butler. I am saying the tide sure did turn for president, like the guy trying to be president again, who got shot at after that day.
Oh, I was in Stockton doing a signing, and my buddy Mike that runs the Stockton Comic-Con, I saw him after it happened later that night. I'm just like, well, that's over. I mean, that's the front of time. Like, that's it. Like, you just created a moment that's, and then you watch it and they drop the flag and it's like, and action, and people are like, yeah, but the firefighter got killed, and I'm like, okay, you're having this conversation with the person that thinks 9/11 was a fucking inside job and they fucking drop those buildings and the 3,000 people, and you think I don't think the government would fucking take one out?
Right. When it comes to conspiracy, like that's
like, fuck, you got to be kidding me.
If you were to believe the entirety of 9/11 were a psyop, this isn't far off at all.
One part,
yeah.
You know, that's just a bad shooter.
I kind of wonder where my head was at, because I remember, I think I was choosing to be blindly optimistic at this time.
I went completely blade job on that whole thing. And then when he showed up at the fucking convention with the Kotex on the side of his head.
Ugh. And then all the other people had the Kotex to support him. It's like, God damn it.
I was so, like, not just uncle, but like the next level, like Scott Hall would say, like, not just uncle, but fucking Uncle Fester. Like, fuck, man, uncle. Like, dude. And then all of a sudden, somehow his ear grew back.
Or it wasn't that bad to begin with, or like something.
There's no way. I mean, they show the Charlie Kirk thing, and they show like a pellet gun would go through your neck. Like there's nothing that projectile wise that is fired out of a rifle that doesn't go through that. Like nobody has a neck that's impregnable.
Right.
it's pretty much why they fucking like why people get like hung by the neck, why the guillotine. You know, they didn't use the guillotine at your fucking your thickest part of your body.
Right.
You know, like fucking you. Everybody's fucking. I mean, if you're gonna pick something, fucking, you're definitely gonna pick somebody's stack of dimes because their fucking necks usually their weakest fucking. You know, motherfuckers get knocked out because their stack of dimes can't fight. It's the blow, but it's
Right.
fucking. You know, you look at somebody like Lesnar who has traps that go up to his fucking C1 Atlas area. Like the chance of him fucking having a fucking a neck injury, you could probably shoot him with a 50 caliber in the neck, and he'd probably shrug that fucker off. But so, are we gonna go? It's we haven't spoken about, but there was you brought it up pre-show, and there was some. I didn't. I just saw a few. I try not to get on social media too much. I actually was in the airport for so many hours one day that I actually played some X. Like got on X and just kind of fucking dropped a fucking couple things just to kind of stir some shit, just to have something to
Yeah.
do because I was bored out of my mind. And I did see the AJ Styles.
Do you want to kind of see the tweets and then live react here for what you may or may not have seen? Maybe we'll do it that way. To kind of walk you through the story and then get your opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
So, August 2nd, he wrestles Marcus Mathers. August 8th, Natty in an interview with Fightful.
So where does he wrestle? Where does he wrestle first?
Game Changer Wrestling.
Great group.
Very
Okay.
good group. And Natty Neidhart gave an interview where she said she saw them both. She thought they did great. And then specifically says, he's out here. He wants to pay his dues. So that was the headline from this interview on August 8th, 6 days after the match.
And Natty did this, and then she also brought it up on Busted Open, or this is like
Eric Cannon, spelled with an A, who also works for GCW, quote tweets it and says, as someone who watched this kid skirt away from helping with a single thing at this very show, I'd just like to say LO effing L. And that tweet started everything because AJ Styles quote tweeted that.
Hold on, now who's this guy?
His name is Eric Cannon. It's spelled with an A.
Has he been anywhere?
He's been GCW in the Indies for about a 10-year vet.
But he's never been to the show.
He's not, as far as I'm aware, he's not been to AEW or WWE or New Japan. I'm likely to be wrong.
TNA anywhere?
I'll pull up the AJ Styles tweet and then I'll check all his
Okay.
matches.
So pull up the AJ because
So this is AJ Styles, who quote tweets Eric Cannon, who says he was paid to wrestle GCW, not help take down the ring. That sounds like your job. You just sound like a jealous douche.
wow.
Like,
I mean,
took a stand.
it's your kid, man.
Like,
number one, like Eric Cannon, like they just retired AJ, and he's got a job with fucking NXT. So I don't know if you fucking know how this whole business works, but man, there's only so many bridges, and if you burn 3 of the 6, and you haven't fucking been anywhere for 10 fucking years. You might say, there's a reason you're setting up the ring, motherfucker. I never set up a ring in my fucking career.
Eric Cannon,
Never.
Chikara, Dragon Gate, IWA Mid-South, Wrestling Society X, and GCW. And is the only wrestler to have been officially sponsored by PBR.
What's his size?
5'7", 210.
5'7"?
5'7", 210. From St. Paul, Minnesota.
God bless him.
We're
done.
Yep.
We're done.
Nope.
We're done. Done.
Moving
You
along.
should be happy to be at 5'7". You should be happy to be putting up the ring. I never was asked to put up the ring. I don't think that if you are in a position where, like, are you supposed to come into a territory and take someone's job that it is to set up the ring? Are you supposed to cluster fuck the system? Like,
It-
are you going to stop doing what you're doing and take me under your wing and let me be your fucking ring put together apprentice? Or are you just going to do the fuck what you do? You know, there are people in this fucking business that have done, and the WWE fucking referees are renowned for this. And to this day, I'm almost fucking sure that Robinson fucking still helps put up and take down the ring.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Like this Mania, I've seen it.
I mean, if he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame fucking, you can take me out, coach. But Charles is like, there's always going to be a Charles, and there's always going to be 8 or 9 or 10 guys that are going to, like, it's so important for that ring to be put together properly, for those ropes to be fucking put together properly. That's not something it's not a chore.
Right.
It's not
grabbing water
housework.
bottles from the
No.
grabbing the water bottles from the truck and bring them to catering.
It's not fucking like being a fucking young boy at the fucking dojo and lacing the fucking boots of the fucking old time fucking Japanese wrestlers. It's like it's not a tradition. This is a very intricate, if not the most intricate part of the apparati that we do the art form that we call pro wrestling in on a weekly basis. And God forbid if AJ's kid fucking tightened a rope too much or didn't tighten a rope too much, caused somebody to get fucking injured, somebody, because it's AJ's kid, fucking put the heat on him. So doesn't it make more sense for AJ's kid to not fucking be a part of that process and just fucking be a part of the process on the canvas? Because obviously Natty thinks he's got what it takes on that canvas to fucking do something, more so than the 5'7", 10-year veteran that's bitching about him not doing it. LOL. LOL nothing. LOL my dick and balls down your fucking 5'7" throat. Like, fuck, come on, dude. Know your role.
I understand teamwork and camaraderie, but if it's unspoken teamwork and camaraderie that you then use as ammunition to put somebody else down for not doing what you think they should do, not what you know they should do, not what you know they're expected to do, what you think they might have been expected to do.
You and I buy a race team. And we want, you know what, man? We want the guys on the pit crew to respect us. So I look at you, I say, hey, fucking Steve, this fucking next race, you and I, we're gonna change the fucking tires.
Have we ever done that before?
No, but fucking, it's like people will know. I mean, we might fucking lose a tire here and there when they fucking take a corner. I mean, but the guys will see us actually do it, and they'll respect us because we'll have paid our dues. I think AJ paid enough dues to where his son's fucking piggy bank is full.
Yeah.
That's where I come from.
I think generational dues, perhaps.
Yes.
Also, in your analogy, didn't we pay our dues by buying the team?
I would think.
Like, because if I were part of that pit crew, I would respect those owners less because they're cosplaying as me.
I
instead
would
of
too,
just
and
being an owner.
And to me, it's just like AJ's AJ's not going to sign long term with Game Changing Wrestling. He's starting there. So, and if he was at NXT getting a push right out of the chute, which if he was my kid, he would.
Right? Or he wouldn't be.
You know, I mean, he's paying his dues. He's someplace that during the night somebody's going to grab a fluorescent fucking light tube and have some death match.
Right.
There's some shit going on in Game Changing. I enjoyed it. I was part of the show in Detroit at the Harpo nightclub. Me and Alex Shelley went out there. Shelley fucking tore it down. I mean, I've been a part of their fucking their team. I like their fucking I like their product. It's probably one of my favorites of it may be my favorite that's not one of the top 4.
Yeah.
So it is my favorite. So it's like he's there putting in he's paying his dues on the canvas. That's where you pay your dues, man.
Right. And also, and you could tell me as a former wrestler, if you show up because you're booked, the expectation is whatever the promoter asked of you. And it sounds like Brett Lauderdale never asked him to help set up the ring or catering or chairs.
Correct.
Because when you mention NXT, I happen to know that if you're like a rookie in NXT, and I don't know where the cutoff is exactly, but it's not just, it's a spoken expectation in NXT that you do set up the ring.
Right.
That's a spoken expectation is one thing. An unspoken expectation just leads to people honestly putting you over on the internet.
And it really takes, what's the kid's name? Cannon?
Eric Cannon.
It takes Cannon, puts a really poor light on him, and you know, in the old days, fucking, he got brought up, and somebody like a fucking Robbie Steiner would sugar the fuck out of him.
Right? Like,
you know, I'm just talking old days. You know,
well,
like,
because pro wrestling above all else is a secret brotherhood. So the fact that he's taking this the fact that I know about any of this means he broke that trust.
Yeah, and he just a bad move. I don't know the dude. And I promise I won't fucking go out of my way to. You know, but it's not like I'll fucking know if fucking. I guess if some 5'7" guy charges me, I'll say, watch the boot. I don't know.
I think what's there's a lot that makes this a big story in the wrestling sphere, but I think part of it is that he didn't back down. Because like Cody Rhodes quote tweeted him because he posted a picture of Cody Rhodes sweeping thumbtacks up from a ring. And then Cody Rhodes quote tweeted that photo and was like, hey, Avery Styles has like pretty much what you said. Like Avery Styles has generational dues. His dad paid his dues for him. And like, I think at a certain point you'd think he'd back down, or at a minimum, if I were him, I would at least at a minimum, like, talk to the promoters who book me and the person who I might have offended, and straighten it out with them, and then be me on the internet and try to get myself more over now that it's already happened.
Yeah, but now it's
huge now.
I think one of the great things, the one quote I did see was from Mark Jendrick, and the guy, said, Jendrick said, I don't even know who you are. And he said, well, you must not know wrestling, blah, blah, blah. I'm, so-and-so, so-and-so. And I was with Jendrick. I'm reading this fucking guy, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. So
we do now, and let's see what he does with it.
But I don't, because if I saw him someplace, he's been fodder for 10 years. It's not like he's going to stand out. So It's just unless he comes up to me and says that I didn't appreciate what you said on your show, and I'll say, well, go talk to the fucking British guy. He'll make it a story.
Sean likes to play games. I think I'm going to put my own take on a game, and then we'll do some Ask Nash.
All
In
right.
this game, I'm going to call Which Universe, which is to say I'm going to name 2 universes,
Okay.
and you get to choose to visit and enjoy one of these universes.
Okay.
Your choices are a universe, and it's August 2026 in both universes, a universe where Jim Morrison didn't die. He got clean from drugs. The Doors never broke up. They made about a dozen more albums. And he became like a poet laureate. And that's one universe. You can visit and enjoy that universe. Look on Spotify and see not just all those dozen Doors albums we've never seen and if their sound evolved at all, but also how that changed music in a ripple effect.
Okay.
Or in August of 2026, where John Lennon was shot, but he wasn't killed. He's fine. He continues with his activism. And the Beatles eventually get back together in the 80s and again in the 90s. So we get, let's say, 5 more Beatles albums. And
No brainer.
no brainer, Lennon?
Yeah, God. Because that was the whole thing. You're either like when we talked about Nirvana, you I don't know if it was on there or off there, but you made the point of what if John had died here. And it was like after their third album or what?
Where the Beatles hadn't, like I think it was Revolver
Yeah.
is considered the flip on the Beatles.
Right. You know, it's just like it completely changes. You know, the short 7-year run they have anyway is just remarkable. But I've always like that was the thing when Lennon was killed, and I watched it. I saw it. The coverage was. I heard the coverage from Howard Cosell on Monday Night Football, and man, it was just like like the great song by John the Bye Bye Miss American Pie.
When the music died.
Yeah. But for him it was Buddy Holly, and I think for me it was John Lennon.
Yeah. And like,
I still would have sang dirges in the park and done all those things, but yeah.
That would be of all the worlds you could possibly imagine and visit. I think that's one. Like if I could just spend a week there and just open up Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, is there a Nirvana? Is like, or did
not without it? But if there's if it's the Doors, like, is there any top acts that aren't kind of keyboard heavy?
Right. And like, but then it also, if you say that the Doors do a dozen more albums and never break up, like they would only do that if they changed.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that would be a fascinating, like, just place to visit.
And is the music would have progressed. Again, I don't think people realize that Morrison. Well, I'm sure they do because he's part of the 27 Club. He was a 27-year-old young man. Like his poetry at 27 and his, I mean, listen to the lyrics to This Is the End.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
a 25-year-old wrote that.
Yes. Like, so imagine a 45-year-old Morrison's lyrics. Fucking hell, man.
He'd be the youngest Kennedy Center honor, like a young Nobel laureate.
Unbelievable.
He'd be heralded as one of the.
I'm sure at some point he would have written screenplays and directed, and I mean he would have been fucking. Those are two just absolute giants that we lost.
that to go back and see, and they could see the ripple all the way to 2026. And
Yeah.
with Lenin, we know how active he was in the activism of anti-war, of pro-peace, of imagine if Lenin stayed that popular, stayed that much of an activist, and
Well, to me,
lived to now.
One of Tristan's, it's actually it's the sheet music on our piano down in our TV room is Imagine, and T was working on kind of his own version of it, and he was working on, because T was like really into music when like Bullets for My Valentine and like a lot of that goth fucking rock and roll punk. Like I remember that there was
My Chemical
like
Romance, like a
like
lot of the
punk,
stuff that winds up on my playlist because I was born in '86,
yeah,
graduated high school in '04.
right, and it's just, but like I remember there was a couple of CDs, but one of them was Punk Goes Acoustic, and it was all those bands, and they did all their hits acoustic, and fucking we used to play the fuck out of those. But that was Chiodos, and who Craig was a really good friend of the families, and you know. Was it Black Veil Brides? What is this?
This is the track listing for that album.
So let me see the artist.
So Once Hand, Thrice, Yellow Card, Sugar Cult, Finch, Thursday, The Starting Line, Strung Out, The Ataris, Taking Back Sunday, Autumn Ashes, Rise Against, Piebald, Rufio. This is a stacked out. That's
it's unbelievable.
This is so much.
Have you ever listened to this?
No, I'm sure I've heard more tracks of this than I would know, but like I pulled it up because I'm gonna listen to it because this sounds awesome.
Please, yeah, and when you get done with it, like text me.
I'll text you about it.
Yeah, it's fucking. I got work done today. I got some soft tissue work done, and I walked out, and I was listening to the music on, and I looked at this young girl, probably early to mid 20s, and I said, "This is New Radicals, right?" And she just looks at me with this smile on her face. She goes, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Didn't they do this video from Daytona Beach? Or was it somebody else that sounded like him?" And she goes, "I have no idea, but I'll definitely look into it." She goes, "Wow." She goes, "I looked at your paperwork when you turned it in because I had to like fill out paperwork to get work done." She said, "I couldn't believe you were 67. And she goes, "Then you come out and make a New Radicals fucking reference." And I said, "Well," "some of us fucking progress." So
Google Gemini claims they shot that video in the Staten Island Mall, but they might be from as far as they can find, there's no connection to Daytona.
I'm trying to think of who it was that had a song. Can you Google like what era it was? What would that be called? The New Radicals. They weren't.
They were technically alt rock, but also pop rock. They were alternative pop rock would be what I'd say.
Let's just Google pop rock song video taped in Daytona Beach and see who comes up. Or maybe it was just another one of those fucking trazodone lucid dreams I had when they had me on that shit for fucking about six months.
Yeah, I know whatever you're talking about right now. What you're really wondering, guys, is am I using the little in-unit coffee dispenser here on the ship? And my friends, I'm not, and don't have to, because of my friends at Mudwater. I don't need to be jacked all day long. I'm one of these people that loves coffee. You love coffee too, but the magic formula for me has been to get the benefits that I get of having a cup of coffee without the madness, without the jitteriness. Okay. the taste, the smell, the whole ritual, but the caffeine, it's an anxiety spiral. So I love trying new coffee shops and stuff, but listen, mud water is the love. Same morning ritual, coffee, chai, or matcha. I'm down with the coffee flavor, but with functional mushrooms and adaptogens instead of full caffeine. So steady energy, focus, no spiral. I don't need to look like the Tasmanian devil on the Lido deck. All right, I've had the original blend, but coffee's the jam for me. It's a coffee alternative. It's made with mushrooms and adaptogens. It's about 1/7 of the caffeine of coffee. So you get the focus, you get the energy without the jitters, the crash, the anxiety. The best way to do this, guys, grab the starter kit. Okay, it's designed to set you up with everything you need, all right, to actually build the mud water habit. All right, when you order, you're going to get a full-size tin of your chosen blend plus a free rechargeable frother. I've used that on the air and withdrew it and forgot to turn it off and frothed myself. If you saw that episode, I hope you enjoyed it. 4 flavors, the OG, the original chai chocolate blend, coffee, matcha, and turmeric. So if you're a coffee person, a matcha person, chai person, there's something there for you, all right? If you're ready to make the switch for cleaner energy, go to mudwater.com/Kliq. Now, Mudwater is MUDWTR. Did you hear me? MUDWTR. Get the vowels out. Grab the starter kit, use the code Kliq, KLIQ, and you'll get that 43% off. The frother alone is worth it. That's right, up to 43% off. Code Kliq at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, they're going to ask you how you found them. You tell them it's, Dr. I'm forgetting the doctor's name on the ship, but it's him. Or just call me Captain Stubing. Or just say, click this. Guys, please get back to your riveting conversation. There's a very exciting game of bingo happening in the lounge that I'm going to slide out of here and do that. Then I'm going to buy some scents down in the perfume store in the gallery. So please continue on. You don't need this is proof you don't need me. All the people on YouTube who are going to be posting, this was the best show ever because he wasn't there. We got Kev the Star. We got the sexiness of Dom D'Angelo. We have the wisdom of the sagely Wesley Burleson and the technical wizardry of Steve Kaufmann, Sean Oliver. Stay home, do your hair, whatever you do all day. And so please continue. I'm sure that's been posted already or in the chat. Go on. I'm going to go win a game of bingo.
Hit me hard and soft, the tour.
So I watched it actually twice during my my last set of flights. I made reference to it, I think, last week. My son was just absolutely in love with her. And I think, I don't know if she started recording at 11 or 12 or whenever it was, but he was on her as far as just a talent. And so I'm on flights so often, it's like, fuck, I've seen every movie 15 times. And I said, well, I haven't seen this. Let me watch this. So I watched it. And I watched it, but I kind of nodded a couple of times, and I didn't absorb it. So on the way home, I watched it. Everything.
Mm.
I mean, just how it was shot, how it was edited, like I do a film, and I knew that she touched. She had a very strong fan base, and I knew that she was an Earth Angel, and I knew that there were so many people, and I hate to use the term, but just it's very easy to use because there was a band called the Misfits, and a lot of her people, I think, that follow her and that love her, I think they feel as misfits. I think they don't a lot of them don't feel like they fit into society. Uh, there's so much shit going on right now that, again, this, the trans situation, and there's just so much shit. And her music, her vibe, like her concert arena, like everything is a safe place for these people, and they know it's a safe place. And there are so many guys in our business that have thought at one time or another, like, I'm so fucking over. And they've had these moments. And personally, myself, the most over person that I saw in my career was Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the glass broke and that didn't, and it, like, he always, that pop was always, you know, it was and he, and I think because he was that everyman's kind of a guy, like, he was so easy to relate to for so much of that wrestling community, especially, in '97. So Steve would be probably the closest, but, and I don't mean this in any disrespect to Steve or Steve's overness, but like when you watch Billie Eilish and she's singing, and everyone in a 20,000 seat arena is singing with her, yet they're crying with the same emotion that the children did, and the young fans when the Beatles
Right.
went to Shea Stadium. It's like it's this pure raw emotion, and she's such a fucking badass, and she's uh, put it this way, she's such a fucking badass that the film is directed by Spielberg.
Cameron.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Cameron. Spielberg, Cameron.
Way less
by
aliens in this version.
By Cameron, and who's, I mean, printed more money than anybody else behind the lens. And for him to walk in and her go, "Hi, Jim," not James.
No.
"Hi, Jim," and Phineas, her brother, who she's played everything. This is the first time, because I'm watching her play, and they show her whole band, and I'm like, whoa, her Phineas isn't, like, her brother's not there. Then she makes reference to the fact that this is the first tour. They go back and they do a clip where it's the first night that she's ever been on stage and performed live without her brother. And it was just it was one of those things where maybe it's an hour and 48, maybe it's 2 hours, I don't know what it is, but man, I was so fucking absorbed into feeling good and being happy and seeing people kind of fucking melt and be one, and not, there was no divisiveness, and it was, I don't know, it was almost like seeing what could be if we fucking took a song like John Lennon's Imagine,
Right.
and actually applied it. But to see that, and I was just like, this won't get enough fucking play. It won't get enough, like, she won't get enough credit for what she does. And there's so many people that won't be touched by this, where, to me, I would make it like fucking Clockwork Orange. I would fucking open their eyes and make them fucking watch it with fucking forks. But it's just, it was just a beautiful, she's beautiful. Like, I don't mean that just physically, but she is, because she's just so, it's her soul, and she's like, she's running around like the stage she has is probably like a hockey rink, blue line to blue line, and she's sprinting and she's singing and she's got a fucked up ankle and she's she's getting therapy. She's got shin splints. She's got fucking all taped up. Like she's like a fucking she's such a little badass, and I know for a fact, because I watched them build out. Because the movie starts and they do the build out of the set. She didn't have to fucking put anything together.
Right.
Wasn't her fucking job. She just had to be there when it was completed. So to go full circle, fucking, that's what the stars do.
Yeah. You have to have respect. Like, you have to have respect for the people who do the jobs you don't do.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean you're expected to do them.
But you also got to have respect for the person that's going to fucking draw the money.
Right. Symbiotic, I'd say.
Yeah.
That'll take
All right. So what are we doing?
We're just going to do 6 quick questions. We're going to do Ask
Sure.
Nash. We got Danny Timwell here. Ask Nash, how were Warriors perfectly rolled blunts, and what other superstars have great cannabis out there beside yourself worth mentioning?
I really don't know. I mean, I'm so fucking. I'm Team Hyman, so I would have to say John Daly's got some fucking good bud because he's on the fucking same team as me. I don't know.
Anybody Hyman sounds like a good group.
Yeah, Hyman's fucking. They're class, man. They got fucking. And anybody that smokes their fucking weed knows. You know, it's a step above.
T. Blair, 1985, asks or says, Kev, you should check out AAA if you want to see a great wrestling show. Galeno versus Oba would be amazing business in the next couple of years if booked right. Mr. Undertaker is booking AAA now.
Really?
It's an hour every Saturday night on YouTube. God. I've been catching it a lot more.
And with just the fact that Mark's booking it would excite me. I mean, just he's always had such a great mind for the business, and he's so. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I don't mean it like physically or his look, but the way that he conveys and the way that he talks is, I would imagine if I was being taught to play guitar by Willie Nelson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got that father nurturing, you know.
But there are people who know how to do it who don't know how to tell you how to do it.
Yeah, he knows how.
He knows how to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And not in a mean condescending drill, like in a way where you'll get it.
And he also, I think that it's so important to have Mark at a position like that, because Mark's probably greatest attribute is his storytelling. And then the pieces of actual what we would call high spots, or the mechanics, were always secondary. And I think for a luchador federation to be story driven is, I mean, it's that is I just say that it's a compelling thought for me to where it's just like, I know in the next 2 weeks that I will watch an hour of that. So thank you for throwing that out to me.
I'll remind you, because I catch that on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Actually, piece of information. T. Blair mentioned that it's Undertaker and Jeremy Borash.
Oh.
Which brings us into a wrestling historian's question. Mr. Nash, what made you join TNA instead of going back to the WWE once you were done finishing The Punisher?
I just had enough. You know, my son and my wife had enough of me being gone. TNA was 68-mile drive from my garage to the back gate at Universal.
Right.
It was five times a month. You know, it was.
Well, it was 5 times a month initially when it was a weekly pay-per-view, but then they became a batch recording where then it was probably 2 times a month. Like later on, once they were on.
But I mean, it was 5 times a month as far as 5 days.
Oh, okay, 5. Okay, yeah. But it was only one trip.
It was 2 trips.
Okay.
I would go Sunday to the pay-per-view, Monday, Tuesday tapings, 2 weeks off, Monday, Tuesday tapings. And I always stayed at the DoubleTree. I always stayed there so I didn't make the ride back and forth because I-4 is brutal. And I got a chance to still be one of the boys. Got to hang out. I got to hang out with a lot of the young guys. You know, Alex and I became good friends there. Me and Jay Lethal got to hang. We had some epic parties in Jeff's room there. So it was. I really it was as. I had a very, very good experience at TNA. I wasn't around very much when during the. I think I was gone most of the Hulk and Eric time, because I was almost exclusively booked by Jeff. But I got a chance, me and Borash was in charge of the paparazzi. So the fact that Borash is with Taker tells me that's gonna have it's gonna have a little bit of Jeremy's fucking flavor, which I absolutely dig.
Triple A has something to watch.
Yeah.
And also Rey Mysterio is on commentary and the on-screen general manager. I think I'm selling you on AAA tonight.
I'm sure I'm not going to read anything negative about it when I get on X. You know, I get so fucking tired of people posting a picture of Paul next to fucking Donald Trump and they're both in suits and ties and they're like, well, would you like to explain this? I'm like, yeah, his mother-in-law's fucking the Secretary of Education. If you've ever watched anything that the WWE does, you won't see Paul Levesque in a fucking tie.
Right.
So if he has a tie on, that's a staged photo. And if you're that fucking stupid and that fucking naive and that fucking just non-clairvoyant, that's why you don't get a fucking answer from me. Because you don't even fucking exist in my world.
So I'll end us off with Britt. Any memories with the Big Boss Man? Did you see his Dark Side of the Ring episode? Heartbreaking. That whole generation gone and is truly missed and needed in the business today.
I don't watch Dark Side of the. I've never watched a episode of it, nor will I. I've got enough post-traumatic stress in my life for the amount of people that I truly spent time with and cared about. And Ray was a good fucking dude, man. Ray Traylor was a good fucking man. And just salt of the earth. And I remember hearing that he came home, he was tired, he fucking sat in his recliner and he didn't wake up. And I don't know what they told on Dark Side, but that's what I heard. And he lived real close to Robbie Steiner, who was, we were really tight. We still are. We had breakfast together. I had breakfast with Robbie and Scotty Friday morning in Minnesota before we started WrestleCon, and they're like my brothers. And Ray lived in the same, if not on the same block, I know in the same complex of homes that Robbie did before Robbie moved out to the lake. Him and Scotty built homes on Lake Altoona. But no, he was a great guy.
That's all I've heard as well. Just
Yeah. And, I want to say another thing. I saw something that came through the other day, and it was a very long. Sometimes I read shit on the road. I have more of a tendency to, like, I'll post shit. I won't even read. It's not like I don't care what people think about what I post, but it's just like I'm doing something, or I'm on to the next, or I have another thought, or I want to post something else that I think's funnier. But I'm always trying to just get, like, if I can make 5 people laugh on a post, like,
right.
Like the other day I made like oatmeal, and like I would never do anything like that, but like people, like, they viewed it and they're like I wish I should actually do one. We have like GI Joes up in the top of the cabinets and the ledge, and like there's one of the guy that's in a Punisher thing, and he's got a sniper rifle, and he's shooting another guy, and there's a guy coming over with a satchel charge to these other 2 guys that are talking. Like, we have this whole thing that we've set up that since T was little in that house, including like the army men that we used to, like, because anytime we went someplace, like if T and I went to Waffle House when we lived in Atlanta, we'd each get 6 soldiers. That's all you could take. You could only take 6, and we'd have a little battle at the table together. So it doesn't get out of hand, but at the same time, you got to pick.
You got to pick your best soldiers.
Exactly. Like, the last thing you want to do is have like a minesweeper and a guy on the radio.
That's not going to help.
No. Like, you better get you want a mortar guy, you want the flamethrower guy.
At least 4 gunners.
Hopefully. 2 laying down gunners and 2 up gunners. Right. Maybe you might want the guy with the 45 that's telling the guys to go, so you've got kind of a command figure. But like, so we would, so soldiers were always, and I was a huge grown-up man. I had a bag, a grocery bag that you could maybe turn 4 times, full of soldiers.
Whew.
And I had another bag that was inside of a GI Joe footlocker. If anybody remembers what the old GI Joe footlocker looked like, and that had like my 50 top soldiers, like from different sets, man, like from like Civil War to, and then I would always take a soldier and play with him in my desk, because we had the desks that had like a bottom in them,
and that it raised out,
and you opened it up, and it was probably, I don't know, maybe 16, probably 12 inches, and there was a hole in the bottom of it, so when you cleaned it out, you just pushed it all to the hole in the bottom of it, and but I always, that was just kind of my gig. But it was funny that people said, like, digging the soldiers, and they were like, wow. And then one guy said, like 90s, 2000 fucking, like, because we don't have backsplashes and none of that shit, because, like, as soon as you put a backsplash up in your house, like, it becomes the trend of 6 months ago in 6 months.
Right.
Everybody put that fucking checkerboard, and then they put the fucking, it's like, you know what? How about this? How about you just don't spill shit on your fucking walls? Like, what do you need a backsplash for? What are you fucking doing?
Or if you do, you clean it. Like, you could still clean your wall.
Yeah, but I don't. We've got like a piece of fucking tile that's 6 inches from the counter that matches it. It's the same granite. It's like, after that, I mean, that ledge is where the soldiers go. You can't have a fucking a backsplash fucking with this. They're not going to be camouflaged. It's bullshit. So obviously people just don't know. But I did. One guy, I said to him, I read it, and the first time I read it, I thought he was digging me. Then I realized he was just like, wow, like, you're just a fucking regular dude eating out of a fucking floured bowl. Like, you really don't give a fuck. And I'm thinking, well, fuck, I kind of snapped at him a little bit, but after the fucking 9 people in front of you did, I got shitty. And but I said to him, I said, this is my home. This isn't my house.
Right.
Like, it's a big difference, you know? Like, I'm not expecting anybody from Architecture Digest to come in and take pictures, because, like, it would take us fucking 2 hours just to get our mailing fucking process off the kitchen table.
Right.
Like,
Because you
we
live
eat,
there.
Yes. Like, I live in my home. Like, this place down here is completely barren. And I had a guy the other day say to me, he goes, what'd you ever do with that fucking condo that you first had down here? I said, oh, I still got it. He says, you rent it? I said, no. He says, what do you do? I said, I do my podcast out of it. And he goes, you do a podcast out of a fucking a ocean fucking condo? I said, well, it's not featured. I said, I have a fucking acrylic behind me from an artist that's kind of the feature of the thing. I said, no. I said, but if my fucking crib gets crashed by a fucking 20-foot fucking wave, and everybody else is fucking panicked and trying to find a place to live, I got a fucking generator that runs on a fucking solar panel that I can put out on my fucking balcony. I've got an air purifier that'll fucking run off fucking the humidity, that'll run off that fucking same solar grid. I got fucking rations, I've got guns, I've got ammunition, and all my shit's silent. So ain't nobody gonna hear a generator, ain't nobody gonna, like, I won't fucking cook anything. So you won't smell anything and get brought to my crib.
So this is your apocalypse pad.
Yeah. And I also fucking, the fact that I can rattle that because I know who survives and who doesn't.
All the while, it's an appreciating asset.
Absolutely. And there's only one way in this motherfucker, and everything's got shutters and hurricanes. It's like, I guess I should fucking make some homemade claymores for that first round, but if they want your shit, it's like, I always look at the remake of the Omega Man off the novel I Am Legend with Will Smith. And, you know, when they're fucking, that fucker's bashing and bashing and bashing into that fucking plexiglass and he's got the grenade. Like, sooner or later, man, it's going to get to that.
Right.
Like, you're not going to tear me apart. You're not,
You'll make a stand.
I'll hold on to my wife. I'll kill as many as I can, and then I'll hold on to my wife, and I'll fucking kiss her, and I'll pull the pin, and that'll be the end of that motherfucker.
Well, I think on that note, Kliq This is the production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufmann, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2026, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do another one?
God, we have to follow this motherfucker.
calculate you've come to love me, but now I'm frozen in dead flesh. Oh, Sophie, I knew all along it was a trick, but the customer service never answers a thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never